Well, hello there. One of my followers asked me questions about what we do with the waste oil on board ship. Well, we pump it ashore is the short answer, and the quick answer is we process it on board ship. Not so much on this ship because we're actually burning diesel, but in the bad old days when we were running on residual fuel, we used to get quite a lot of water in the fuel, and we used to drain that off down to the sludge tank. We then heat the sludge tank up so the water came out of suspension from the fuel oil, and we drain that off to the bilge tank. Now the bilge water, to pump that overboard, because we can pump it overboard, there are lots and lots of regulations involved, and 3 of the regulations, the really big regulations, means that you must be underway on passage, which means you're sailing along. That means you're not on standby, so you've let the pilot go, and you're steaming from A to B, from the pilotage at A to the pilotage at B. The other one is you must have a 15 part per million separator, which we have on board ship, and you must have an automatic stopping device fitted to that 15 part per million oily water separator. Now, what normally happens is the bilge water will get pumped through the separator, and the oil is collected and drained off. We have got coalescing filters and mechanical filters that takes out the lumps. And as the water is being discharged overboard, we've got a device that samples that water and passes it through a monitor and measures the quantity of oil in the water going overboard. Now, 15 parts per million doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not a lot really. If you imagine a cubic meter of water and you get 3 teaspoons, 3 5mm teaspoons, and that's how much oil you're allowed to have for a cubic meter of water. So it's not a lot. And really it's discoloration. You might get a slightly milky colour if it's emulsified. But we tend not to on here. On this tiny little boat, we tend to pump it ashore. There's no real reason. It doesn't cost the earth to pump your bilge water ashore. And we don't generate that much either, to be fair. Although we do have centrifugal purifiers that take out quite a lot of the water, and they take out the impurities from the fuel. But the bilge water we get comes from pumps. We have seawater pumps and freshwater pumps. None of them are 100% dry, so that you get little leaks here and little leaks there, and sometimes we'll get a pipe burst, or we'll try to drain the system down if we're going to do some maintenance on a particular job, and some water will spill. So that will go in the bilges, but it's not a lot. You're talking 1 cubic meter every month, which is nothing really, nothing on a big ship like this. So we're quite environmentally friendly, and of course it's not worth the fine. If you discharge oil over the side deliberately, there's a minimum of $500,000 fine. Now that is, to me, that's not worth it. It's not, you know, the company can pay the money. I'm not going to pollute the planet, not any further. Anyway, but that's the point I'm trying to make, is that there are rules and regulations on board ship that govern the discharge overboard of water and the collection of sludge, and we have to every time we do an operation, it has to be recorded in the book, and once a week we have to log down the contents of the waste oil tanks, just so that the Marine Coast Guard Agency, MCA, can keep a track of what's going on board ship. So yeah, we are environmentally friendly. You think so, wouldn't you, really, being a research boat? But anyway, that's what we do with our waste oil on board ship, is collect it and discharge it ashore, and bilge water, we can process it and discharge it overboard if we need to, but we tend not to. We tend to let it go to a facility ashore. And the waste oil that we send ashore is quite often reused in boilers for heating hospitals and power stations and places like that that burn oil. to produce energy or heat. So that's where that goes. So it's not wasted completely, it's slightly recycled, as it were. Anyway, so that's about it then. Catch you all on the next one.